Two people are dead after an overnight shooting at a 7-Eleven in Denver. Police were able to make two arrests. Thank you for joining us today at noon. I'm Brianna Fernandez. Police responded to the scene off 35th and Colorado around midnight, but when they arrived, the officers were fired at. 9 News reporter Lauren Scafidi has more on this developing story.
Two suspects are now in custody after an early morning shooting at this 7-Eleven. We want to show you what the scene looked like early this morning. Investigators say two groups were here at the 7-Eleven and started arguing with each other. That turned into the groups shooting at each other. DPD says an officer in the area heard the shots and made it to the scene. When more officers got here, they found two people with gunshot wounds. DPD says one was pronounced dead at the scene and the other was taken to the hospital where they died from their injuries. DPD says an investigation is now underway. In Denver, Lauren Scafidi, 9 News.
A former Littleton bus aide seen on camera abusing a child with special needs was in court this morning. Kiera Jones faces 13 charges and was in court this morning to be arraigned. But Jones's attorney told the judge they had not yet received all of the discovery from the new charges that were filed back in September. She is not only accused of hurting a boy on camera, but also other special needs students. Authorities say one of them was an 11-year-old nonverbal boy who came home with a broken toe because of her abuse. Jones will be back in court in March. Nearly 50 people are now in Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody after an Adams County drug raid Sunday morning. The DEA says some of the people detained are suspected members of the gang Tren de Aragua. The DEA shared photos and videos of people being taken away on buses. Agents detained 49 people and 41 of them were undocumented. They say federal agents had leads on TDA drug trafficking activity beginning in August, but it took several months of investigating before they could get a search warrant for the building near 66 and Federal. Special Agent David Oleski with the DEA Rocky Mountain Division says they seized drugs, weapons, and cash in addition to the arrest. He adds that all of the people detained had some sort of connection to TDA, whether they were members themselves or associated with a member.
This affirms what we've been looking at with this organization dating back to last year. And so we're going to continue to pursue every angle of this organization investigation. It's ongoing, so I can't get into too much of the details of those individuals that we encountered today.
Oleski says this is still an active investigation and we could learn more as early as today if any federal cases are filed against those who were detained. ICE, Homeland Security, and the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive assisted with the raid along with the Adams and Douglas County Sheriff's Office. ICE officials say nearly 1,000 undocumented immigrants are in their custody after multiple federal raids this weekend. They were done in several major cities, including LA and Chicago, as part of the Trump administration immigration enforcement blitz. The agency said it's taken more than 2,600 people into custody since last Monday's inauguration. The Washington Post cited 4 people with knowledge of ICE briefings that the agency has set a quota of at least 1,200 to 1,500 arrests per day. Some people were already flown back to their home countries this weekend, but initially the Colombian president said he would not allow entry to any American planes carrying Colombian migrants. But then Trump threatened a 25% tariff on all Colombian goods to the U.S., so the country's president reversed his stance. Now the White House says that the two countries have agreed to the unrestricted acceptance of migrants from Colombia. Trump is expected to sign 3 executive orders today that would reshape the military. White House officials say one of the orders goes further than banning transgender service members. It will outline new standards for gender pronouns. Also, there will be no more diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and service members who were discharged for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine will be reinstated with back pay. Now switching gears, 12:04 is your time for a Monday afternoon. The sun is out. It will be warmer today. Great conditions for more of that snow to melt. But the next round of snow is on the horizon. So joining me right now is Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact Team. Keely, you and I were just talking. So when are we going to see that round of snow? Later this week?
Yeah, Thursday morning, actually. We're going to kind of break down the timeline of it coming up in your full forecast. But yeah, it looks like Thursday morning we will see more snow. Now, here's the deal. Temperatures before that, very warm. And so how much will stick, how much will melt when it falls? It's going to be a warm next several days. Beautiful blue skies as we take a live look at the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. Lots of folks lucky to be able to go to the mountains today because we got a gorgeous day. Lots of sunshine. We are already at 44 degrees at DIA right now. So current temperatures, we're looking at 30s and 40s across the plains, teens, 20s, and some low 30s up in the mountains. So again, we are going to top out. So we're going to be about 44 degrees at 2 o'clock. Then we're going to reach a high around 46, 47 degrees by about 3, 4 o'clock, and then dropping back down into the 30s by 6 o'clock. But we are staying sunny, not even a cloud in the sky. A few high clouds, that's about it. Sunny and warmer. Forecast high for DIA 46 degrees. And again, we're looking at 40s, even some low 50s out across the eastern plains. We're quiet, taking a live look at our radar. Let the melt begin. Yeah, we're going to do a lot of melting in the next several days. We have a warm week, highs mainly in the 40s, but we're looking at some highs close to 60 degrees as we head into the weekend. But again, tracking this storm that will bring us some precipitation, possibly even a little snow to the metro area. We'll talk more about that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Healy, thank you so much. Tonight, the Metro Denver Homeless Initiative will do this year's point-in-time count of those who are in shelters and on the streets of Denver, as well as the counties in the metro area. The Department of Housing and Urban Development requires the count, but the data helps Metro homeless officials create strategies to help the unhoused population and apply for critical funding. Last year, more than 9,000 people were counted across the 7-county region, but the metro area here in Denver Homeless Initiative says the actual number of people experiencing homelessness is closer to 30,000 throughout the year. DIA is celebrating for setting a new passenger traffic record last year. Airport officials say they saw more than 80 million passengers come through in 2024. That's about 5 million more people than what they saw in 2023. It's also the first time since in DIA's history that more than 80 million people traveled through the airport. The busiest times were during the 3 summer months.